Okay, thanks so much for watching another episode of StoryView.me, where success is in a story. Everybody relates to stories, and that's why we have this website. So the story that we're going to highlight today is a guy that I've actually followed off and on the outsourcing sphere for a while. I've always wanted to have some virtual assistants, even while I was teaching. And then I came across John Jonas's website, and I never really jumped into it until just recently. And now I do have a couple full-time employees from the Philippines, and that's what he specializes in. He helps so many people build their businesses by finding and locating the right Filipinos to help you build your business. So this is the guy that we want to talk to, man, because he's got so many great information, so much stuff, man, today. So
thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hey, you're one of the few elite people in the outsourcing realm, and you're one of the go-to guys. So that's why we wanted to tap into your knowledge and hear your story. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks. So before we get into anything else, tell me, how much are you paying these people that you have working for you?
Between $3.50 and $5. So,
an hour?
An hour. Actually, that was just before that's what I was paying first, and then we got to a point where, hey, it might be better if I just pay you a lump sum, so it's a lot easier for us to manage. So now it's about $300 a month.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So you pay $300 a month for full-time work?
Full-time work, absolutely.
It's like $1.80 an hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Something around
so
there.
This is why I do it. This is why I outsource, and specifically why I go to the Philippines. Mm-hmm. So I know you said you wanted to hear my story. You want to hear it?
Yeah. How the heck did you find these people? How did you get started? Because of you, a lot of people have found out about this. But how did you find out about outsourcing in the Philippines?
Totally. So I never started out intending to teach.
Yeah.
Outsourcing. I never intended to do this. It's just so dang good. What I figured out, what I discovered, is so amazing that I couldn't get people to stop asking, and I had to start teaching it because everyone wanted to know. So,
right.
And since I started doing that, literally, I've helped thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs succeed in their businesses by outsourcing. So here's how I got started. I was teaching a class at Brigham Young University. I was speaking at a class, and it was on internet business. And the guy who was teaching the class had me and another guy speaking. That other guy who was speaking, his name is John also.
Right.
He owns backcountry.com, the largest online retailer of outdoor gear. And it's an amazing business. And after we both spoke, we were talking about some of the things that we were doing as side projects, and we were doing some really similar things. And he says to me, John, when you're ready to start outsourcing some of this stuff, make sure you go to the Philippines with it. Because in the Philippines, when you tell them something, no, wait, let me start that over. He says, make sure you go to the Philippines with it, because in India, when you tell them something and they say yes, that means, yes, I heard something come out of your mouth. It does not. It does not mean, yes, I understood what you said.
That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference.
Oh, wow.
And that to me was a real big eye-opener, where it was like, I always just knew that there were communication problems, and outsourcing to India is difficult, and people really struggle with it. And they're good people and they mean well, but outsourcing is really hard, and it's one of the reasons why I never kind of did it. It was hard. And he said, make sure you go to the Philippines with it. Interesting. And he gave me a contact, and I took a couple months kind of debating back and forth. I'm running my own business, and I ended up taking the leap, and I hired someone. And it was the single most liberating experience of my life, where all of a sudden I was able to give him some things to do that I was currently doing in my business. And those things were off of my chest, and they were off of my plate, and I didn't have to deal with them anymore. And I was able to start focusing on things that I knew I should be doing, but there wasn't time in the day to do. And it was so amazingly liberating to me to be able to hire someone. And at the time, I was paying him $750 a month.
Wow, he's rich.
No, he's not. So what I didn't realize at the time was I had hired him through a service, and this is what you get when you use a service to do this. I was paying them $750 a month. They were paying him $250. So he was making $250 a month, and in the end, he sends me an email one day saying, "I'm sorry, sir, I can't work for this company anymore. I'm quitting. I'm giving you my 30-day notice." I was like, don't even think about it. This guy changed my life.
Right.
You know? So I doubled his pay, and he was freaking thrilled.
Yeah, and then now he was working exclusively for you.
He was working exclusively for me. I doubled his pay overnight, and I cut my costs in half. So now I'm paying him $500 a month, and he's amazing.
Wow.
You know, completely. So that's how I got started. That's what changed my life. You know, from there I hired another guy and had him doing some other things, and now I have 10 full-time people that work for me.
Wow.
So, well, I mean, it's been 6 years. That was 6 years ago when I started doing that. So
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. What are the typical initial tasks for anybody that's just getting started with outsourcing? What would you recommend for those early tasks, just to hand it off, start seeing the benefits, and then ramping it up? What do you think?
Okay, so in that, I'm going to give you a couple different things, because when you go to the Philippines, you know, you can go to the Philippines and you can struggle through it, or you can go to the Philippines and do it right. Mm-hmm. And you know, I've been doing it for a long time, and I've had a lot of experience doing it. And I've seen thousands of people do it, and I've seen the mistakes that they make, and I've seen people do it right. Whatever it is you're hiring someone to do, hire them to do one task up front. Don't hire them to take over your business and do everything. I mean, I see people all the time who they want to hire someone to write their content for them and do SEO for them and be their webmaster and write some code for them and design graphics for them and to make phone calls for them, and they're like, that person doesn't exist. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that person doesn't exist in the real world. They don't exist in the Philippines either.
Right.
You know?
Right.
In this magical dream world that the Philippines is. So when you hire someone, I would suggest you, number one, hire them for their English skills, because that is the hands down the single most important skill that you'll find. And you'll find that if you hire them for their English, all the rest of their skills are better because of their English skills. That's number one. So then number two is hire that person and get them doing a single task. Whether that task is writing blog posts for you, or whether it is making phone calls for you, or whether it is doing SEO for you, or it is doing research for you. Whatever it is, get them doing one single thing and get them doing it well, because you have to teach them how to do it.
That's a good point.
In the Philippines, they do not have the educated workforce that we have here. And in fact, just this morning, I watched a video from someone else talking about this, where, you know, Filipinos are super, super eager to work. They're super talented. They're super willing to learn. They're scared. They're embarrassed. I mean, this is a major cultural shortfall of theirs, where they feel like they're not good enough. And so if you give them something and they don't know how to do it, it's going to really be a struggle. And so you've got to teach them how to do it. And, you know, when you teach them once, you'll never have to teach it again, because they'll never quit working for you. Yep. They'll work for you forever. It's not like hiring a virtual assistant, you know, either here in the U.S. where you know they're only going to work for you for a certain amount of time, and then you have to teach someone else, or someone in India where you know they're going to try and steal your business for you at some point, or when you're hiring someone through a company where, you know, they're giving it to any number of people in their company, and if you teach this person today, well, tomorrow this person's going to be assigned that task, and so you can't really teach anybody anything. Or it's different than when you're hiring someone part-time, where you teach them something, you know they're temporary, or if you're hiring a contract worker, a freelancer to do a single task, you know you can't teach them something. So my whole point is, hire them full-time. Hire a full-time person and teach them to do a single task. And even if that single task isn't a full-time task, when they're good at it, you'll never teach that thing again, and now you can teach them another task. Right. And now you have two tasks being done. It's taken you 30 days, you know, and all of a sudden you have two things being done for you for the rest of your life. And that'll change, you know, it'll change what you're able to do in your business.
I know some people are scared when they hear the horror stories about thinking they're hiring one person when it's actually a big company. and then they find out later, that money's being broken down. How do you safeguard from that? Are there any tips or any things that you can think about for people to watch out for? Buzzwords or graphics or something?
That's something that we deal with. That's
Yeah.
so I own Onlinejobs.ph, which is the biggest
Yep.
the biggest database of Filipino workers online. We have 70,000 Filipino resumes.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And combating that, where an entrepreneur from India goes in and pretends they're Filipino and
Wow.
and gets you to hire them and pretending that they are a single person, this is something we deal with. So what I would advise you to do is, number one, look at how much they're asking. Look at how much money they're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
If they're asking for too little or too much, something's not right. If they're asking for $100 a month, you're probably not going to get that much work out of someone for $100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it. I've hired someone for $100 a month full time.
Wow.
If they're asking for $800 a month, unless they're like a crazy good programmer with so much experience,
Yeah.
they're asking for too much money. And then communicate with them, talk with them, get them on Skype, get them on the phone and see how it is, and let them know that this is a trial period. The first month is a trial period. And then go with your gut, because if it feels too good to be true, it probably is. And if you feel like, I get this all the time where someone was like, I just felt like something was wrong there, but I stuck with it and I stuck with it and I stuck with it. And in the end, I fired them because they were cheating or, something,
Right.
Whatever they were. Go with your gut and you can tell sometimes there are just little things that they'll do that seem weird. So, but for the most part, at Onlinejobs.ph, we're filtering those out, or we're trying really hard to filter those out, so that you're not dealing with that.
Yeah. How did that start? Because that's a really huge database that some of the people that I follow that talk about, that do videos on outsourcing, that's one of the primary sources they encourage. Go to this particular website, as opposed to the Elance or the Odesk.
Okay, so let me tell you the difference between what I do and what I teach versus Elance or Odesk.
Yeah.
At Elance or Odesk, you're hiring a contract worker, right?
Yeah.
They're temporary. Either they're hired for a single project, or they're hired part-time temporary. You will never be able to step away from your business as long as you are hiring temporary contractors. They will never run your business for you. Where if you hire Filipinos, specifically Filipinos, full-time, at some point they will have enough knowledge to be able to run your business for you, and you step away. And I'll tell you, I've done this numerous times. In numerous businesses that I have and I run and I own, they completely run the businesses for me.
Wow.
And businesses make anywhere between $100,000 to $30,000 a month.
Wow.
I'll show you. And I don't know if this is legal, but this check is from Amazon. It's for $100. I do not know where this money comes from. I'm serious. Amazon every month sends me $100 or $110 or $100, whatever it is. And so much so that, look at this. There is, I don't know if you can see this. There is a check fee on this.
Okay.
Of $15.
Yeah.
They charge $15 for sending a check. I don't know what the account is that's sending this money.
Right.
So I can't change it to get that $15 every month.
Yeah. Wow.
So they'll just deposit into my bank account, right? So and that's just an example of like what these guys do. Where if you hire full-time people, they will set up and run and maintain businesses for you permanently. Where if you hire contract workers, that can never happen.
Right.
So here's the difference between online jobs and Odesk or Elance. At Online Jobs, you are hiring permanent full-time people. That's the whole purpose of it, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper.
Right.
At Odesk, if you hire someone at $3 an hour, it sounds really, really great, and it is. $3 an hour at 40 hours a week is about $480 a month. Where I know that I'm hiring that same person at Onlinejobs.ph for $250 a month for full-time work. And so if you only have them doing 20 hours a week, you're paying them $240. I have them working 40 hours a week for $250.
Big difference.
Big difference.
Big difference.
And it's a big difference for the Filipinos. Filipinos do not like temporary work. They don't like part-time work because that's how all the work is in the Philippines, and it's a major, major problem for them. So, they know that if you hired them part-time or temporary, they know that at some point they're going to have to go find another job.
Okay.
And it's constant over there. They're constantly looking for jobs. So when you can offer them a full-time permanent position, that security is amazing for them. Wow. They will do anything for you to keep their job. So here's the story. Okay, so that was a long introduction to how online jobs got started.
How old is it?
It's about 18 months old. 18 months, 2 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So before online jobs got started, there was Best Jobs, bestjobs.ph. It was by far the best place to hire people in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. The owners of Best Jobs are crazy. And no, dude, they are crazy people. One day they decided they don't want any more foreigners hiring Filipinos. No more. So they shut the site down. They banned everyone's accounts. Anyone who had an account, they banned it.
Wow.
No question. No warning, no refund, nothing. And they shut down the registration page. You couldn't register to get an account there. It was like, we don't want to take anybody's money. No more money, no more hiring Filipinos. We don't want to make any money. It was craziness. And after like a couple months of dealing with this and like trying to email them and just getting canned responses, form emails that made no sense at all, we were like, dude, there's got to be a better way. And that's when we started Onlinejobs.ph. And
you got your outsourcers to start that and design it and program it?
They designed it, they programmed it, and they marketed it. I've never done a single thing of marketing for it. There's 70,000 resumes in there, and it grows every single day.
Wow.
It's just resonated so well with the Filipino people.
Yeah.
Working online from home, they're making more money than they would at a normal job. They're working their own hours. They're working from home, which is everyone's dream anyway.
Right.
They're working for a foreign boss, which I don't know if you know this, but Filipinos look up to foreigners like nobody's business.
You know what? That's weird that you say that because they call me Sir Rob.
Unbelievable.
Weird. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it. They're going to call you Sir Rob no matter what you do.
Yeah, and it's like, it's awesome. It's a good feeling, but it's that sense of respect that they have. So that's, absolutely true.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, when you realize all this stuff, all of a sudden you realize they will do anything to keep their job.
Yeah.
They'll do anything to keep you happy as long as you're reasonable with them.
Yeah.
You have to be reasonable with them. Okay, so I work from home. And, I don't know if you can see.
Hi.
Hey, what do you need? Okay. You don't need anything? Okay, go out and close my door. Thank you.
That's cute.
I work from home, man. I run numerous businesses. I work from home, and I mostly have an open door policy, except when I'm recording. But my kids just completely ignore it. So.
Yeah. Continue
Go
with
ahead.
the online jobs because that's a.
No, I mean, it's just grown ever since, and that it is the best place to find and hire someone online. So
for somebody interested in looking for an outsourcer, how much do they pay to register and to find? How does that process work? Do you find them, or do they just go on and connect?
So you go on, search the database, or post a job. Online jobs is $50 a month. You find as many people as you want. It's also the most reasonably priced.
Wow.
That's recruiting service. So $50 you find as many people as you want. You find the best people.
Yeah.
I found an example of what you can find. I found the resume of the secretary to the president of the Philippine Stock Exchange.
Wow.
There's crazy people that you could find. Just go look for them.
Yeah, so that's becoming like the Craigslist jobs board in the Philippines for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be able to find Manny Pacquiao's political campaign person.
You'd be surprised, dude. You'd be surprised what you find there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, how many businesses do you run from home?
That's a good question.
And you outsource everything, right? Every single business has an outsourced person.
Every business has outsourcers working on it. Every one of them.
How do you manage that?
So, one of my things is that as I start, and when I say a business, I mean a website that's going to make money. Okay. One of my criteria in starting a website is that it can be run by people in the Philippines. And that, I'll tell you how that got started. So, this is where I really learned like what was possible with the Philippines. My wife was 7 months pregnant with our third child. She goes into the doctor. He tells her she has preeclampsia and needs to be on strict bed rest for the next 3 to 5 weeks, or she's gonna go into seizures and die.
No way.
So I come home, and I was running my business at the time. I was working 40 hours a week, and I sent an email to 2 of my guys in the Philippines and said, "Hey, look, here's my situation. I have 2 other kids. I can't work. I need you guys to run my business. I have at least the next 3 weeks. I cannot work. I got to take care of my kids." So for the next 3 weeks, I didn't work. I literally worked 1 hour, and like overnight, completely out of my business. And these guys in the Philippines took it over.
Now, did they take it over during the time that you would normally work, your normal office hours?
No, because they weren't me. They're not talking to partners or whatever.
Okay.
But they took over the customer support. They took over all the marketing I was doing. They took over the software and the bugs and the updates and everything that was currently going on. My wife had the baby 3 weeks later. For the next 2 months, I realized I had replaced myself in my business, and I didn't have work to do, so I didn't work.
Wow.
So that was 3 months of doing nothing, and
it was still generating revenue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we made about $800,000 in those 3 months.
Nah, man, really?
So, and you know what? It was a good 3 months, and we didn't make the money.
3 months.
3 months.
Shoot.
We didn't make the money because I wasn't there or because they were running the business. I had set the business up to make a lot of money, and it was going to make it. But the point is, the business didn't fall apart.
Yeah.
They took it over, and these weren't fresh off the street people that I just hired. These guys have been with me for about 18 months. I had been training them all along.
Okay.
But this should be a good example of like what's possible if you're willing to put in a little bit of effort to work with someone. At some point, you step away. You completely step away. So here, in response to, here's what happened. You want to know what I do in my businesses. So I got bored. There's only so much. No, seriously, dude. There's only so much nothing you can do in a day.
I love it.
Before you gotta do something. You can only take your kids to the golf course so many times.
Yeah.
Before you gotta start working. So I designed a business. This is the first time I did this. I designed a business based around my guys in the Philippines doing everything, where I was going to have them do everything for it. And I didn't know how it was going to work. But it was a basic website. We're going to write reviews about products. We're going to post them on the site. And then we're going to market them. We're going to try and get people to see the reviews. Search engine optimization, pay-per-click, articles, videos, standard internet marketing stuff. And then every review will have an affiliate link on it. So someone comes, reads the review, they like the product, they click the affiliate link, they buy the product, I get paid. I get paid a portion, So here's what happens. I bought a domain and sent it to one of my guys in the Philippines, along with an audio of me talking for 45 minutes. Explaining the business, explaining like, here's what I want to do, here's the concept, here's why, here are the goals. Here is the direction we want to take it. Here are the steps we need to get there. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And I sent it to him. He takes the domain, sets it up on my hosting account. He sets up WordPress on the domain. He changes the theme and gets it kind of how I like it. And I'm working with him on this stuff. He's not just doing this on his own. I'm working with him on it. But the point is, I'm not doing the work.
Right.
He starts writing the reviews. Then he goes out and starts marketing it. So he starts doing the SEO and the
this is all the same person.
This is all the same person, yeah.
Okay.
And again, he's been trained. I've trained him.
Yeah.
He knows how to do this stuff because I've taught him how to do this stuff. And I'm teaching him how to do it along the way. But again, the point is I'm not doing the work. I'm not the one writing the content. I'm not the one messing around with the blog and all the settings, and I'm not the one out doing SEO and link building and articles and videos and directory submissions and Craigslist and social networking and social bookmarking and all this stuff. I'm not the one doing it. He's doing it all. So, you know, that business in the first month made me like $200. And within 3 months, it's making me about $1,000 a month. Within 6 months, it's making $3,000 to $5,000 a month. Within a year, it's making $10,000 to $15,000 a month. Just, you know, crazy.
Wow.
And I didn't do any of the work, you know, but I was involved.
Yeah.
And so this is a long answer to your short question of how do I manage all these businesses. I specifically design businesses around
their skill set.
How much work can I have the Filipinos do?
Yeah.
And how much work do I have to do? Because if I have to do the work, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I know that if I have to do the work, the business is limited. It's limited to me.
Yeah.
Every time. And for $300 a month, I can have someone else do it. And, you know, even if 9 out of 10 of those websites fail, it only takes one.
Right.
So that's...
And they do the keyword research and all that stuff?
You tell me something you do in your business, and I'll tell you if my guys do it for me.
Yeah. So the design? Yeah.
Online jobs, that was all designed by my guys in the Philippines.
How about emails that you normally would be sending out?
No.
Okay.
I still handle that. I still handle personal email, although I have had one of my guys filter my email for me. He logs in to my Gmail account and archives all the emails he knows I don't want to see. Or there are things where, like, I'll get an email and that I've taught him how to deal with, and all I do is just forward it to him. I don't even have to say anything. I just forward it and he'll deal with it.
Okay.
So
that's like the customer service kind of...
Well, yeah, customer service stuff, I mean, they can do. But this is like, you know, personal email, yeah. I still do my personal email, unfortunately.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy, man. With all those kids and the family.
It's crazy. I got 4 kids now. I got a little baby.
How old?
3 weeks.
Really? Yeah, ours is about 15 days.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we got a little boy.
Sweet.
That's awesome. Yeah. And
it's been amazing because I work from home, and, you know, just this morning I had her. She's laying right here while I'm sitting here typing. And
how many hours would you say you're working now?
You know, for the last couple of years, it's been pretty steady at about 17 hours a week.
A week.
And I've had times where I was less. I've had very few times when I was more. You know, kind of once you get into this, once you get businesses making money that you don't have to deal with,
yeah,
your family gets accustomed to it.
Yeah.
And so not that, you know, there have been times when I wanted to work more, and it's just really hard. And, you know, because as you see, they're here. They're in, and I love that. And I love that I get to be here to watch my kids grow up. I love it.
Yeah.
17 hours a week. That's what I call it, the 17-hour work week. Because I've been there at the 4-hour work week. I don't know if you've read the 4-hour work week.
Yep.
I've been there. It's not enough.
Yeah.
There's more time in the day than 4 hours a week. You got to be doing something, or you get bored.
Right. That's crazy. And when the boy came, I started because I'm familiar with the 4-hour work week. I don't know if you're familiar with Pat Flynn, the Smart Passive Income blog.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's got a really, really cool write-up on how to, you know, create niche sites and do the keyword research and all that, and then outsource it, and that's where Tyrone Shum comes in. But when the boy was born, because I knew all this stuff, I just never implemented it. That's where the outsourcing series came, and I was like, man, I want to hear a little bit more from the top people that do this and get their story. So I'm super, super pumped about seeing this into a reality for my life, because the kids there, the family needs the attention, and I can't really, you know, be around to run the business and then try to, you know, be here for the kids at the same time too.
So here's what I've seen. You know, at some point, everyone at some point comes to the point where they realize, dude, I got too much to do.
Yeah.
And whether, you know, if you're listening to this right now and that's you right now, okay, or maybe that's not you right now. Maybe you're not to that point yet. But at some point, everyone comes to it. So I get a lot of people that'll watch a webinar that I do, and they're maybe not ready to hire someone, but at some point, everyone's gonna come back to it. And when you realize I have too much to do, or I want a better life, or I want other people can do this stuff that I'm doing. It always comes back. That's when you go to the Philippines. You get someone in the Philippines to do it. And everyone gets to that point at some point where they realize I'm doing too much. I have too much to do. I need to get someone to do it.
Yeah.
So, like you'd heard about it, but you weren't necessarily ready.
Yeah.
At some point, you're gonna go hire a Filipino. At some point, everyone's gonna do it. Especially if you want to run your own business and you want to succeed at it.
Yeah.
You're gonna hire a Filipino.
Yeah.
So it's just part of it.
Right. This has been good. This has been super encouraging, but super insightful too.
Good.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people be pumped. I know I'm gonna be pumped. I'm gonna hit these guys up right now. Okay, here we go, man.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. I do webinars regularly.
Yeah.
On that webinar, I'll teach this whole process, like everything about how and why to hire in the Philippines, like culturally, why you should be only hiring in the Philippines and not anywhere else in the world. What specific important things you need to be looking for when you do it. What the difficult first task is, how to pay people, how to manage them, how to make training them way easier for you. I'll teach all this stuff on a webinar for free. There's no strings attached. Anybody who wants to do that, are you okay with me giving a URL?
Oh yeah. Give them the URL. Tell them where to opt into your email. Tell them your Facebook, your Twitter, whatever you want. Send them to a niche site so they can purchase something.
Replacemyself.com is where I do webinars. You can go to replacemyself.com. Get on a webinar, watch it. It'll be an hour and a half. It'll be the best hour and a half you ever spent. And obviously that's saying it of myself.
Right.
A little bit of bragging there, I guess. But
no, that's good. Yeah.
It'll change the way you think about any business you ever run in the future. Period. And it's free, an hour and a half. So.
Replacemyself.com.
Replacemyself.com.
Perfect.
Yep.
And your personal blog where you talk a lot about the outsourcing?
Jonasblog.com.
Jonasblog.com.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then the online jobs.
Onlinejobs.ph. That's important. It's a Philippines website.
Yeah.
Yeah. Onlinejobs.ph. Go there. It's amazing when people go there the first time and they realize, oh my gosh, everything's in English.
Yeah.
Everything's in English. Oh my gosh, I can communicate with these people. This is easy. I don't have to go through a service. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Good. The first time I heard of it was from John Reese. I had stumbled across his outsource force.
Uh-huh.
So I saw the videos, and then he said go to onlinejobs.ph. I was like, dude, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah, when John went and hired his people in the Philippines, he came to me first, and
oh, good.
I helped him out. John's a smart dude. John didn't need much help. But
yeah.
He's a smart dude.
But he definitely went to the right person for the outsourcing stuff, so that's good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for your time, man. I know you got the family, the new baby.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this is going to be super, super helpful for a lot of people. I know for me, it's definitely going to be huge. So
good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Rob. It's good to talk to you.
Yeah, you too, man. Appreciate you, brother. Okay.
No problem. Okay, talk to you later.
Bye.